This video is about power pins. When you have a power ring on a device, especially those with higher pin counts, you will have multiple pins connected to this power ring. The CurveMaster can test to ensure that all of these pins are connected to the power ring using the pin-to-pin connect test. This test is extremely fast as it measures continuity between two pins. It can also be used to measure internal termination inside the device where there is a common internal termination rail. This is very important when you need to measure the IV characteristics of the power pins, because when you have, say, 20 power pins, you may think you need to run the IV curve for all 20 pins. But if you run the pin-to-pin test first and verify they are all connected to the same power rail, you only have to run the IV or VI curve on one pin, because all the pins will look the same. This provides tremendous savings in execution time. Pin-to-pin connect test is very similar to the continuity test, with a few small differences. First, we force a much higher current because we want to make sure these connections are solid. You can set the force value anywhere from 1 milliamp to 5 milliamps. This can be important when you have not necessarily a short, but you have a termination resistor of, say, 50 to 100 ohms between pins. You will essentially make a resistance measurement. You set the pass conditions here. In this case, it will be below 10 ohms. And there's a list of all the pins to be tested. When you run the test, you will see the result in ohms. The very first pin on the list is not executed because that is our reference pin. We always measure the connection between the reference pin and every other pin on the list. Can a different pin be the reference pin? Certainly. When you assign pins to the list, you determine the order in which they appear. Just put your desired reference pin at the top of the list. CurveMaster doesn't reorder the pins. It will test them in the order you specify. Does it really matter? Generally not, because all the pins are connected to each other via the power ring inside the chip. But it can make a difference if there is internal termination. Remember, these pins are also connected to the internal circuitry of the device under test. So it is possible that some of the current may go to the internal circuits of the device and not just between the two pins. Your result may not necessarily be what you expected, but that's not the result of measurement inaccuracy. It's an effect of the structure of the device design. That's why it's called pin-to-pin connect test, not pin-to-pin resistance test. It doesn't mean that those tests are flawed. It just means you need to understand the conditions of the test. Like in the continuity test, you can save the results in a log file. The format is very similar to the continuity log file. There is the test description, the time and date of the test, the global results, the test parameters, and the list of all the pins tested and the results. As you can see, the first pin from our list is not here because it was the reference pin and was not measured. But every other pin is measured, and here are the results along with the value in ohms. Please remember, this measures from one system channel to another system channel, including all of the fixturing in between and the socket. This concludes the pin-to-pin connect test video.